Introduction. Welcome to this workplace safety training video. This video is designed to provide you with general safety tips that will help you stay safe while on the job. Workplace safety is a critical concern for all employees and employers, regardless of the type of job or industry. According to the International Labor Organization, over 2.78 million people die every year due to work-related accidents or illnesses, and over 374 million suffer from non-fatal work-related injuries and illnesses. These numbers are staggering, and it's crucial that we all take safety seriously to prevent accidents and injuries in the workplace. In this video, we will cover some general safety tips that can be applied to a variety of workplaces, as well as specific safety tips for different types of jobs. We'll talk about common workplace hazards, risk assessment, and safety practices you can follow to minimize the risk of injury or illness. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of workplace safety and the actions you can take to stay safe on the job. Importance of workplace safety. Workplace safety is critically important for both employees and employers. Here are some reasons why workplace safety should be a top priority. Protecting employees from harm. One of the primary reasons why workplace safety is important is that it helps to protect employees from harm. By identifying and mitigating potential hazards in the workplace, employers can reduce the risk of injuries, illnesses, and accidents, which can result in physical, emotional, and financial harm to employees. Employers are required by law to provide a safe and healthy work environment for their employees. Failure to comply with workplace safety regulations can result in fines, legal action, and damage to the organization's reputation. Increased productivity. A safe workplace can help to increase productivity by minimizing the number of workplace accidents and injuries. When employees feel safe and comfortable on the job, they are more likely to focus on their work and be productive. Reduced absenteeism. Workplace accidents and injuries can result in time off work, which can lead to increased absenteeism and a reduction in overall productivity. A safe workplace can help to reduce the number of sick days taken by employees and ensure that they are able to perform their job duties to the best of their abilities. Improved employee morale. When employers prioritize workplace safety, it can help to improve employee morale and job satisfaction. When employees feel that their employer cares about their safety and well-being, they are more likely to feel valued and motivated to do their job well. Statistics on workplace accidents and injuries. Here are some statistics on workplace accidents and injuries that you may find useful for your training video. According to the International Labor Organization, every day, 7,600 people die from work-related accidents or diseases worldwide, and over 374 million suffer from non-fatal work-related injuries and illnesses each year. In the United States, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, reported 2.8 million non-fatal workplace injuries and illnesses in 2019, with 888,200 cases resulting in days away from work. In the United States, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, reported 5,333 fatal work injuries in 2019, with the leading causes being transportation incidents, falls, and contact with objects and equipment. The BLS also reported that some industries have higher rates of workplace injuries and fatalities than others. For example, in 2019, the construction industry had the highest number of fatal injuries, while the healthcare and social assistance industry had the highest number of non-fatal injuries and illnesses. The cost of workplace accidents and injuries is significant. According to the National Safety Council, the estimated cost of work-related injuries and illnesses in the United States was $171 billion in 2019. These statistics highlight the importance of workplace safety and the need for employers and employees to take proactive steps to prevent accidents and injuries on the job. By following best practices for workplace safety, organizations can help to reduce the risk of accidents and injuries and ultimately create a safer and healthier work environment for all. What is hazard? Understanding hazards is an important aspect of workplace safety. Hazards are any potential sources of harm, damage, or adverse health effects to people, property, or the environment. Hazards can be found in any workplace, and identifying and controlling them is crucial to preventing accidents, injuries, and illnesses. Here are some different types of hazards that may be present in the workplace. Physical hazards. These are hazards that can cause physical harm to workers, such as slips, trips, and falls, contact with moving machinery, exposure to noise, vibration, or extreme temperatures, and ergonomic hazards related to lifting or repetitive motions. Chemical hazards. These are hazards that can cause harm through exposure to chemicals, such as toxic substances, gases, fumes, or dust. Chemical hazards can cause respiratory problems, skin irritation, and other adverse health effects. Biological hazards. These are hazards that can cause harm through exposure to infectious or disease-causing agents, such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, or parasites. Biological hazards can cause illnesses ranging from minor skin infections to life-threatening diseases. Psychological hazards. These are hazards that can cause harm to a worker's mental health and well-being, such as workplace violence, harassment, and bullying. Environmental hazards. These are hazards that can cause harm to the environment, such as pollution, waste, and emissions from industrial processes. Risk assessment. RA, HERA, TRA, FRA, SRA, JSA. To effectively manage hazards, it's important to identify and assess them using risk assessments, which involve evaluating the likelihood and severity of harm that may result from a particular hazard. Once hazards have been identified and assessed, employers can take steps to control and mitigate them, such as through the use of personal protective equipment, implementing safety procedures and protocols, and providing employee training on safe work practices. Some common hazards in our workplace are 1. Falls from heights. 2. Struck by hazards, e.g. by falling objects or equipment. 3. Electrical hazards. 4. Caught in or between hazards. 5. Ladder and scaffolding hazards. 6. Noise exposure. Falls from heights are a common hazard in many workplaces, particularly in the construction industry. Here are some precautions that can help prevent falls from heights. Provide fall protection equipment. Workers who are working at heights should be provided with appropriate fall protection equipment, such as harnesses, lanyards, and anchor points. This equipment should be properly maintained and inspected before use. Ensure proper training. All workers who are working at heights should receive training on the safe use of fall protection equipment, as well as safe work practices for working at heights. Use guardrails and safety nets. Guardrails and safety nets can help prevent falls by providing a physical barrier that prevents workers from accidentally falling off the edge of a platform or roof. Use scaffolding and ladders properly. Workers should use scaffolding and ladders properly and ensure that they are set up on a stable surface and that the scaffolding is properly secured. Keep work areas clean and clear. Work areas should be kept clean and clear of debris and tripping hazards to help prevent falls. Follow safety protocols. Workers should follow all safety protocols and rules for working at heights, including wearing appropriate footwear, avoiding alcohol and drugs while working, and staying alert and focused while working. By taking these precautions, employers can help ensure the safety of workers who are working at heights and reduce the risk of falls and injuries. Struck by hazards, e.g. by falling objects or equipment. Struck by hazards are a common type of workplace accident that can cause serious injuries or even fatalities. To prevent struck by hazards, here are some precautions you can take. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, such as a hard hat, safety glasses, and steel-toed shoes. Use caution when working around heavy equipment, such as cranes, hoists, and forklifts. Ensure that the equipment is operated by qualified personnel and that it is properly maintained. Secure all loose materials and equipment that could potentially fall, such as tools, scaffolding, and materials. Avoid working directly beneath overhead loads and ensure that loads are properly secured and stabilized before lifting. Use warning signs and barriers to designate work areas and keep workers and equipment away from hazardous areas. Inspect all equipment and tools before use to ensure they are in good working condition. Train workers to recognize and avoid struck-by hazards and to use safe work practices. By taking these precautions, you can reduce the risk of struck-by hazards in the workplace and ensure the safety of workers. Three electrical hazards. Electrical hazards are a common cause of workplace accidents, and they can cause serious injuries or even fatalities. Here are some precautions you can take to prevent electrical hazards. Identify and label all electrical equipment and wiring, and ensure that they are installed and used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and relevant regulations. Regularly inspect electrical equipment and wiring for damage, wear and tear, or any other defects, and replace or repair any damaged or faulty equipment immediately. Follow lockout, tag-out procedures when working on electrical equipment to prevent accidental startup. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, such as insulating gloves, safety glasses, and flame-resistant clothing. Use properly grounded electrical systems and equipment, and ensure that all circuits are properly labeled, and breakers are properly sized for the circuits they protect. Keep all electrical equipment and materials away from water, and never handle electrical equipment with wet hands. Train workers to recognize and avoid electrical hazards, and to use safe work practices when working with electricity. By taking these precautions, you can reduce the risk of electrical hazards in the workplace and ensure the safety of workers. 4. Caught in or between hazards. Caught in or between hazards are a common cause of workplace accidents, and they can cause serious injuries or even fatalities. These types of hazards include getting caught or pinned by equipment, being struck by rolling or shifting equipment or material, or getting caught in machinery. Here are some precautions you can take to prevent caught in or between hazards. Use machine guards to prevent workers from getting caught in machinery. Keep equipment and machinery properly maintained to prevent malfunctions or breakdowns that can lead to caught in or between hazards. Use lockout, tag-out procedures when working on machinery to prevent accidental startup. Train workers on how to properly use equipment and machinery, and ensure they understand the risks associated with the equipment. Use proper lifting techniques and equipment to prevent materials from rolling or shifting and causing injuries. Establish and enforce safety protocols for working in confined spaces. Keep work areas clean and free from clutter to prevent workers from getting caught in or between equipment or materials. By taking these precautions, you can reduce the risk of caught in or between hazards in the workplace and ensure the safety of workers. 5. Ladders and scaffolding are common tools used in many workplaces, and they can present hazards if not used properly. Here are some precautions you can take to prevent ladder and scaffolding hazards. Use the appropriate type of ladder or scaffolding for the job, and ensure that it is in good working condition. Inspect ladders and scaffolding before each use, and remove any damaged or faulty equipment from service immediately. Use stable, level surfaces to set up ladders and scaffolding, and ensure that the base is secure and supported. Use fall protection equipment such as harnesses, guardrails, and toe boards when working at heights. Follow proper climbing techniques when using ladders, such as maintaining 3 points of contact at all times. Avoid overreaching when using ladders or scaffolding, as this can cause instability and increase the risk of falling. Train workers on proper ladder and scaffolding use and ensure they understand the risks associated with these tools. Use proper materials handling techniques when transporting ladders and scaffolding to prevent dropping or falling. By taking these precautions, you can reduce the risk of ladder and scaffolding hazards in the workplace and ensure the safety of workers. Six, high noise. Exposure to high levels of noise can cause permanent hearing damage, as well as other health effects. Here are some precautions you can take to prevent noise exposure in the workplace. Identify noisy areas in the workplace and take steps to control the noise level, such as using sound-absorbing materials or installing noise barriers. Provide hearing protection equipment, such as earplugs or earmuffs, to workers who are exposed to high levels of noise. Use administrative controls, such as job rotation or limiting the amount of time workers spend in noisy areas, to reduce the amount of time workers are exposed to high levels of noise. Train workers on the proper use of hearing protection equipment and ensure they understand the risks associated with noise exposure. Regularly monitor noise levels in the workplace to ensure that they are below the exposure limits set by relevant regulations. Use equipment and machinery that are designed to reduce noise levels, such as low-noise motors or exhaust silencers. Implement a hearing conservation program that includes regular hearing tests for workers and education about the risks of noise exposure. By taking these precautions, you can reduce the risk of noise exposure in the workplace and protect the hearing of workers. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you found it informative and helpful. By following these precautions, you can help ensure the safety of yourself and those around you. Take care and stay safe. Like, subscribe, and share.